I don't want us to forget about this, because as we've jumped into this war and we've decided to kill people like this, we can't forget we've killed people, like, children, directly.
Can you give us an update on what the administration knows, what you know now about the reported strike on a girls' school in southern Iran on Saturday?
All I can say is that we're investigating that. We, of course, never target civilian targets, but we're taking a look and investigating that. Red tie in front.
Just on the basis that with the information you would have, your reconnaissance abilities, ability to gather information, I mean, it's several days on now. So is there any clarity on whose munition this was?
We're investigating it.
They're not going to be able to escape this bombing of that elementary school in Iran. They're not going to be able to. I mean, I'm sure they would like to, because as they've pointed out, these folks don't matter. These children aren't real humans. In matter of fact, they're beneath us. Therefore, we can kill them, act like it was someone else. You heard the lie that Donald Trump told on the airplane while Pete Hegseth was standing behind him and couldn't even co-sign it there, about how it was Iranian bombs. But considering we've seen these investigations that Pete Hegseth keeps saying that they're having, and those investigations have turned up the fact that we did that, they're left with these bumbling answers. Look, Trump can't answer it either.
Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I haven't seen it. And I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more. But whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic. It's sold to other countries. But that's being investigated right now.
It's not being investigated right now. If it was being investigated right now, which he just said, I haven't seen any investigation behind it, he would have seen that the investigations pointed out that that Tomahawk missile that he blatantly and just randomly claimed, it's a very common thing. It's all over the world. Everybody's got one. Did you know that Iran has Tomahawk missiles? Those things that the United States creates? Iran's got Tomahawk missiles. Maybe the next question should have been, where did they get those Tomahawk missiles from? To then, I heard there's like precise and precision-based missiles that we've got. So for the folks who are still believing this nonsense, maybe if they listen to Jennifer Griffin over on Fox News, who got into it with Pete Hegseth earlier in this administration's second term, she barked at her.
Do you have certainty that all the highly enriched uranium was inside the Fordo mountain, or some of it, because there were satellite photos that showed more than a dozen trucks there 2 days in advance? Are you certain none of that highly enriched uranium was moved?
Of course, we're watching every single aspect, but Jennifer, you've been about the worst, the one who misrepresents the most intentionally. What the president says. I'm familiar.
Report about the ventilation shafts on Saturday night, and in fact, I was the first to describe the B-2 bombers, the refueling, the entire mission with great accuracy. So I take issue with that.
I appreciate you acknowledging that this was the first the most successful mission based on operational security that this department has done since you've been here.
She's telling a little bit too much truth about that lie that Donald Trump just told.
And it was a Tomahawk missile. The president saying Tomahawks are used by other countries, but an investigation is ongoing. What do we know about where that stands?
Well, that was a bit surprising to me, because basically the U.S. has Tomahawks. Tomahawks have to be fired from either submarines or from warships. The Brits and the Australians have Tomahawks, but they're not part of this conflict. And then you also have the Japanese, who are in a testing phase. So it seems highly unlikely that it would be anyone's Tomahawk other than a U.S. Tomahawk that hit that school. And I think the president knows that. He just knows that this is certainly a mistake, a big mistake, and it's being investigated, but he's trying to sort of muddy the waters by talking about the Tomahawks.
Yeah, they were saying that they didn't believe it was theirs, or they believed that Iran misfired something. Are we sure that it was a Tomahawk that hit that school?
There's no evidence that the Iranians fired anything at the school. If you look at the satellite imageries, and there have been a lot of a lot of investigations from the air, from these satellite photos, showing the impact and showing the likelihood that it was a Tomahawk.
Brett Baer tried his damnedest, didn't he? Brett Baer was really trying. He goes, yeah, you gave me all that blatant, direct information that completely disputes the lies that Donald Trump is telling, but Donald Trump said so, right? Yeah, but he said so, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. In fact, he doesn't realize that everyone can debunk his lies in about 35 seconds, which she did, which others have done as well. There's only certain countries that have Tomahawk missiles. One of them is not Iran. The other one isn't even Israel. So even if they wanted to blame his best friend, who I guess walked him into this war, if you believe one of the 17 different excuses, they couldn't even be blamed for it. People saw images of it, experts on it noticed what it was, and it was targeted and it went directly to this school. But what they can't do is take any accountability for their actions, because it was not a mistake, because those would be the next questions. How is it you made a mistake with the Tomahawk missile to hit in this children's school? I'm sorry, the double tap that hit that children's school. Who knows? I guess we'll just listen to the liars instead.